Hi, Riverside Unified Teachers. This is Christy Wong from Mountain View Elementary School, and today we're going to be working on inserting a table in Google Docs. This may be something that's beneficial to you as we're going to the distance learning. It will allow you to create a table in a document where you can upload students' assignments, time frames, put hyperlinks in. So this may be helpful to create these to add into your Google Classroom. I'm going to start with a blank document here that I just named Student Distance Learning. And to insert a table, we're going to go up to Insert and then over to Table. And we have to decide how many columns and rows we want. We can always add more if we need to, but it's best to kind of decide how many columns you want to start. And so I'm going to create it with a couple of columns here. And when I come in here, sometimes you'll want to take the top row and merge it into one big cell so you can use it like a title or a heading. And I get all of my options for making changes to a table by going up here to Format and down to Table. And then you'll see that I have some options. I can insert rows, I can delete rows, I can even distribute rows and columns evenly. The one I'm looking for right now, though, is this merge cell. And so I can merge it, and then I can add and make it into one cell that I'll put a heading in. And I can use the same features I would use where I can align something into the center. And I'm going to say coursework for April 13th through the 17th. And so just kind of coming up with a little layout here to use for my students. I can change some formatting in here too. You'll see when I'm in a table here and I select things, I can even add some features into it. And I have the options over here on my toolbar. If you don't see them for the table, you'll want to click on those three dots. And so I can actually change my fill color. So maybe I want to use a nice gold here and change the font and the color of the tables and the cells. And so I can do all of that and make some changes here, maybe make it bigger so it looks more like a title. And so then I can add different coursework that I want them to have. Maybe I'm going to want them to do some journal writing, and I want them to do it for maybe about 15 minutes each day. And maybe I want my students to go on to ST Math, and I want them to do about 15 minutes a day. And now I've gotten to the end of my table, and I want to add some more cells. A real quick and easy way that I can do that is by hitting the Tab button on my keyboard, and then that will automatically let me move from cell to cell and add additional cells at the bottom of my table. And so then maybe I'm going to want them to do homework page, and I can list whatever page I want them to do, and maybe I want that to be about 10 minutes. And so I can continue to add more information here in my table for my students. If I want to add specific things or specific days, I could have an additional column here where I'm listing what page numbers I want them to work on each day, and so on. And then again, I can format this a little bit. If I want these to be in the center, I can align them to the center. I can align things to the right or left. I can add more colors into my table. Maybe I realize in the middle of my table that I want to add an additional row. I'm going to go back up to that format table, and then I can insert a row above or below. If I get a row that I don't want, I can go up to format and I can go to table and I can delete a row. If I want to change and maybe make something like a little smaller on my column, I just drag right in the middle of the line and I can adjust the size of my columns or even of my rows like that and make things larger or smaller in the table. If I want to add a hyperlink, maybe I want to link right up to ST Math for my students or up to some sort of a web page. I can select that and choose this link button, and then I need to put the address. So maybe I want to put the Riverside Unified web address or a link to Epic or something else there. I'm going to just simply type in that address there, and then I can add it as a web address. And that will allow my students to click right in this document if it's in my Google Classroom and then go to that hyperlink. So it just gives you some ideas of how you can use this table in your distance learning that we have coming up here. Hopefully that's helpful to you.